wanted to do this cover page in a few different phases. So the first phase is to mask off where I want the trunks of the trees to be. So I took some old washi tape and masked off where I want to have the trunks of the trees. And then once I had that down, and I added a few little branches here and there, the next thing I wanted to do was to take my water-soluble oil pastels and just make some really rough scribbles of some color for the sky. I wanted to kind of make a November stormy sky, and then I put the grass down below. But I did want to make sure that I masked off November as well, so I put some stickers down to spell out November. And then I colored in the rest of the grass with some more scribbles, some light green and some dark green. This tool that I'm using is called a blending stick, and I found it was a package of about 6 to 8 blending sticks, and I forget what the price was, but I found them at the store called Michael's, so I think you could probably find them at any craft store. But because these oil pastels are water soluble, they're able to blend really easily, but I was a little worried about putting water onto the page because I thought it might wrinkle and probably not be so good, so I went ahead and just used the blending stick to blend everything together. So once I have everything blended, I went ahead and started to take off the masking tape from the trees. It took a little while because washi tape is so sticky. It took a little bit of time to get all the tape off, but it did come off eventually. So the next thing I did was to take my acrylic paints, and I used Q-tips to just dot on some color onto the tops of the trunks where the leaves would be. And so I did yellow first, and then I did orange, and then I did red. And then it was starting to look a little bit dark. I added more orange here, which brightened it up a little bit, but I thought it needed to be a little bit lighter, so I went ahead and added more yellow. And I actually like the way it turned out. I wish the sky wasn't as dark as it was, but can't go back, so I think it looks okay. I'm pretty happy with it. So here what I'm doing is I'm just adding some watercolor to make the trunks of the trees not so white. So the first thing I did is just add a little bit of gray to the trunk. Once that dries, I take a Super Tip Crayola marker and just put in some gray marks onto the trunks. And they're just random. There's no rhyme or reason for my marks that I'm making on there. And the final touch here is to put some black onto the marks of the trees on the bark. And I'm using a flare marker for this. It's a felt tip. So here on the next page are my November events. For each of the letters up top, I went ahead and did a birch tree log. I added a little bit of shadow underneath each one. The next page is my new habit trackers page. In the previous 2 months, I just have a page called Habit Tracker, and everything is all on one tracker. But here I'm going to have 10 different trackers, and each tracker has 30 different squares to keep track of the 30 days in November. So hopefully with my reading 15 minutes a day, I won't have a blank tracker. Next page here is my one line a day. And so far, last couple months, I have been able to keep all of my memories, things that have happened each day onto one line. So I'm keeping it that same way for this month as well. Here's my brain dump. And the 2 boxes down below, one is for future. I just keep track of what I need to remember for the next month. So I know there I'm going to list out my daughter's birthday. My daughter's birthday is coming up in December. The other box was called social media, and that's just where I keep track of my 2 channels here on YouTube. One, of course, is Peaceful Rocks, and the other is The Happy Trail. And here is my weekly spread, and all I really did was switch things from the left to the right. So here each day has been pushed over to the right-hand side of the page, and my tasks are now on my left. I decided to draw in some more birch tree logs for each day. Alright, so there you have it. Here's one last look at the November pages for this setup. Please make sure that you leave comments or questions if you have any, and hit that subscribe button below so that you can see my next videos that are coming up, so you can see how I'm doing on my bullet journal. Alright, take care and have a wonderful November. Bye-bye.